Hi, my name is Emily with Small Furry Games. We are a new game design company focusing on games that are simple to learn with high social interaction and great storytelling, always keeping an eye on sustainability and small packaging. Today I'd like to introduce you to the Mice of Marlow Manor. This is a game of one versus many which pits a mischief of English mouse families against an amateur exterminator who hopes to drive them out of their cozy little home. It is a game for 2 to 5 players, plays in about 60 minutes, and is for ages 10 plus. Our story begins in England in the 1940s when Mr. Mortimer Marlowe lived in a cozy little countryside home. He was happy to live in peaceful harmony with the mouse families, but unfortunately last spring Mr. Marlowe passed away, and now his cousin, twice removed, Mr. Hackett, wants to move into this house, turn it into a high society bed and breakfast, and get filthy, filthy rich if he can only get rid of these pesky mice. Mr. Hackett is going to win if he can eradicate the mice, but the mice will win if each of these mice families can collect at least 3 cheese points and keep at least one of their 2 mouse family members alive. In order to set up the game, Mr. Hackett draws from the house cards here and lays 9 cards face down into the manor. Some of these cards are helpful to the mice, including cheese cards, extra morsels, and empty rooms. But most importantly are the cat cards, which can only be escaped in 2 ways, the trap card, which can be escaped in 1 way, and the arsenic card, which absolutely positively cannot be escaped by any mouse at all. Once Mr. Hackett has laid his 9 house cards face down, he updates his handy-dandy clipboard with the locations of those house cards, and he places his meeple on one of the rooms in the house, preventing the mice from entering that room for the round. Then it's time for the mice to set up the game. They each draw 2 mouse cards. Some of these cards are sense cards, including sniff cards, listen cards, and whisker sense cards, which reveal information about one of these face-down cards. The other cards, stealth cards, play dead, and scurry cards, are defense cards, and they help them escape cards once they have been flipped over. Once each family has drawn their cards, they place their mousy meeple, or as we like to call them, squeeples, onto the corners of the house, and the game is ready to begin. The game takes place over 2 different phases, a nighttime and a daytime phase, which is indicated by this card. So once everything is set up, it is now nighttime. Then the mice can work together in whatever order they choose. Each mouse can take 0 to 4 actions as indicated here on their action card. Those actions include moving within the walls, moving their squeeple from one card to the next, any direction except diagonally. They can obtain a new mouse card by paying 1 cheese. They can use a mouse card by discarding it here and declaring it. For instance, a mouse might say, "I listen, what do I hear in this room?" To which Mr. Hackett would reply, "You hear a cat," or "You hear nothing." They can also share cheese and information by distributing cards to other mouse families. They can also enter a room by simply flipping over a room that they're on top of and then reacting to what's inside. If they have the cards that are required to escape that threat, great. But if they don't have what they need to escape, or if they land on the arsenic card, their little mouse dies, which means they take that card into their hand here and wait for the other mouse families to join together and give them 3 cheese points so that they can send in the other mouse from their family and discard the card. Once all the mouse families are finished taking their turns, it becomes daytime again, and it's back to Mr. Hackett's turn. He will replace any missing house cards, update his clipboard, and move his meeple to a new room, and then it becomes nighttime again. That continues until the end of the game. Now, the Mice of Marlow Manor is a fun game, not just for families, but for serious gamers too. Part of the fun comes when you have the aha moment and you realize that there are only 26 cards in the house deck, but there are 2 cats, 2 traps, and 1 arsenic card. And if you're very careful, you can kind of keep track of where that card might be, whether it's been played, whether it's been removed, whether it's been shuffled back into the deck. That's part of the fun of the deduction. But at the same time, this is a very simple game for kids to learn. I've got a niece who loves to play Mr. Hackett and go after the mice, who are played, of course, by her parents and her grandparents. So it's a great way to introduce young players to the idea of being a game master for the first time. It's also a great way to teach cooperation, because if anybody tries to operate as a lone rodent, they will very, very quickly lose the game for everybody. So the key to winning the Mice of Marlow Manor is for the mice to all work together, think things through, and really use their sense of deduction. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you'll join us for a playtest either on Tabletop Simulator or by visiting www.smallfurrygames.com and downloading a print and play version. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. This is Emily at Small Furry Games.